Living in Sydney, I was in a position where I could afford a motorcycle.
In Melbourne, it's really hard to have a garage or a car park or somewhere where you can work on your bike.
However, we lived in a tiny apartment with no garage and I had no tools.
I park my bikes on my porch after doing an 18-point turn to get it on there every day.
So every time I worked on it, I had to do it in one hit and carry it back inside.
And my tools kept getting stolen.
I read an article about two guys starting a space where people could learn how to get their hands dirty and work on their own bikes.
My thoughts were enough's enough, I need a space to work from.
How do I do that?
And offering that to the greater motorcycle community.
How do we create a space that works?
And we were sure that there must be other people out there in similar sort of situations, and that's where the idea really spawned from. My life before the Custom Commune was based around marketing, events and print media. I was working for a publishing company for around 7 years and then decided to do my own thing along with Richie, and we launched Custom Commune.
In my past life, I spent 15 years working in digital advertising and marketing as a creative director. Back in 2006, I started the blog Return of the Cafe Races, and I've been doing that on and off ever since. And I'm also now the editor of Tank Moto and obviously partners of the Custom Commune.
I couldn't commit to anything. I had to try everything. So I went from an abattoir to a bottle shop to uni to drop out to be a musician. And then 7.5 years later, I think I finally found my spot in the corporate world. And that was also when I found my spot to exit the corporate world. I think that was the journey I needed to take as well, to know I prefer getting my hands dirty as opposed to sitting down all day and banging keys.
I went straight into a Masters of Architecture degree and spat out the other end, pretty keen to want to make a difference in the world, with not only as a designer but as a human being.
In order to get Custom Commune off the ground, we'd obviously quit our jobs, so there wasn't a lot of cash laying about to be used. And so we needed to formulate a way of raising the funds. We had built a strong network of local motorcycle enthusiasts and some international followers. So we figured crowdfunding would be the way to go. And we had no idea if it was going to work. Thankfully, the support was incredible. There's a time during the crowdfunding when it lulls, which I think is a natural thing that happens in crowdfunding. You get very nervous. But at the end it all spiked and it came together and worked out fantastically.
To get to the point where we're at now, the biggest sort of kick in the pants was seeing Custom Commune crowdfunding campaign, and we thought, oh no, somebody's done it. We have to be the first ones in Sydney to do it. So Adrian quickly contacted those guys, and Jimmy was lovely and imparted everything he knew about what he'd learned from crowdfunding so far, and became the beginnings of a wonderful relationship with those guys.
We shared ideas about what would happen once we got the funding and how the space would evolve and what we had done to kickstart our crowdfunding campaign.
And within, I think, 2 weeks, we launched a crowdfunding campaign out of nowhere. It was the hardest 90 days of probably most of this journey to date.
And then we made it. Somehow we got across the line, and we thought that would be the hardest part. But then we found a property, thought really there, and then we got stuck in council. Probably a little bit of shining light for us was we were approached by Harley-Davidson, which essentially gave us an opportunity to do a temporary, semi-permanent space while we worked on the main one, and still are, which is where we are today.
I suppose the idea of doing a communal build, we always wanted to do a build that would get our members involved and use their ideas and bring people together for one common goal of creating something special. It goes without saying that Rising Sun would want to do something as well with their community and their members.
Harley-Davidson got wind of what we were trying to achieve as, two separate cities, and have a motorcycle supplied by Harley, one each, so one for us and one for Rising Sun. So we're now going to get our members to build a bike with us and have a bit of a friendly competition between Sydney and Melbourne.
We put it out to our community, just ask them Because really it's going to be a Rising Sun build. What do you guys want? What do you reckon? This is the bike, it's a 48 Sportster. What would you do? And a lot of people are saying similar things, so Adrian's then marinated on that and has come up with a bit of a plan for the Mean Machine.
Soviet cosmonaut era lines and the Rocketeer and the way that was styled, and even like a Cadillac, so that long line, flowy.
Basically,
Sputnik. It's going to look like Sputnik.
And in terms of the style that we're going for, just between the two of us, we have very different aesthetics. And, you know, Jimmy comes from more of a chopper sort of background, and I'm obviously cafe racers and
We're gonna
sharing ideas
smash
and
the two ideas together.
and trying to come up with something original and unique. And we also want to try and do something that reflects the place where we're based, something that is a bit Melbourne and integrates perhaps parts of iconic architecture around Melbourne and subtle things that hark back to the fact that we are very much Melbourne based and all about the place where we live.
Two things I'm looking forward to most are getting all the members of Rising Sun Workshop involved in the builds.
Show everyone what Melbourne's capable of and what they're capable of.
Seeing the length and breadth of knowledge that already exists amongst the members.
I think that unveiling will be a fun thing.
We've got the space, we're trading, we have members coming in, we got together, we built this bike.
With the members who are involved and the people who are involved there on the day and the general public and seeing a reaction,
It's going to be a moving thing that we created together.
I think that's something I'm really looking forward to. You know, it'll be a good time to celebrate the work that we've all put in as a group, and pat each other on the back.
So it should be a lot of fun.
We're all friends here.
For now.